to Mr. Randy's Wine and Spirits. I am Mr. Randy. Today we're going to be talking about an Irish whiskey, or is it an American rye? Actually, it's both. So this is called Four Walls. If you might recognize these guys, let me see if I can't get, oh, there they are. They're just missing two characters, aren't they? They're not on any of them. But if you know who they are, if you don't, let me fill you in. It's they're from a show called It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. It's a moderately amusing show. It's got a couple of punches and jabs here and there. It's a situational comedy that derives out of a pub in Philadelphia. I forget exactly where, but these three guys, I think it started with one of them, but they actually decided that, hey, we're in a bar. We have all these, whiskeys and libations and stuff like that. We could come up with something that could complement the show. Bada bing, bada bang, here you go. They have a funny, cute little, I don't know if you want to call it a clip or whatever. It basically kind of gives you an explanation about how they claim that this came about. One guy was drinking Irish, one guy was drinking a rye, and they sort of got bumped into each other and then kind of spilled into each other, and he tasted it. And this mix of Irish and mix of rye was like amazing. But it is what it is. So the Irish is a grain and malt distillate, and it's American rye. There's not a whole lot spoken about the American rye part. There's not very much information on the Irish side anyways, but it comes in at a standard 40% ABV, as most Irish whiskeys do. You might expect that rye to have done a little bit of pumping it up. Maybe it could have been like a 43, but it is what it is. So Mr. Randy paid $25 for this bottle. I don't see it everywhere, but when I was doing my finalization of my research, somebody did say that this might possibly be discontinued. I think that maybe it was just a thing for the show, but maybe they didn't make enough profits, whatever. But let's take a little bit closer look. So Wine Enthusiast gives it 92 points. Take that off. It's a nice looking bottle. The labeling on it is really nice. They got the signatures of the three guys. A tribute to the bar. The bar was called Four Walls. Here's their little thing. To the room that brings us together. To the place the gang calls home. To the four walls that hold our good times in and keep our troubles out. To the bar. Four Walls. I'm not going to read all that. You can pause it and read it if you'd like. This has a lot more. I gotta give it to them. This bottle has more on it than most other bottles. It's produced and bottled in Ireland. That's one of the most important things, that if you don't know, now you know. If it's on the label, it says produced and bottled in Ireland, then it has to come from that country in this bottle. There's a little website. I have not been to the web. I did go to the website. My bad. That's a nice little eagle with the clover. Let's get a pour on. I think I've yapped enough here. I'm getting dried out. Nice metal screw cap. Bruh. Let's get a look at that. It's not a bad color. It's like a dark straw light amber. We're getting a lot of that that light amber. I think it might be a little darker than light amber. Let's see if we can't get some legs on it. What do we got? It's not too bad. It's not too bad. Okay, so it's not that great. Under the nose. Oh, you're going to get that rye. You're going to get that rye right up the bat. You can barely detect the Irish, but it's there. Put that nose in the midsection. Or put the nose in the midsection. Geez, that rye just blocks the Irish. I'm really having a hard time pulling something from the Irish side. My mother's from the Irish side. Father's from the British side. Let's go ahead and get it on the palate. That's interesting. That's interesting. I believe that this is the first time Mr. Randy's ever tried some kind of crossover from Irish to American. Now, we do have whiskeys that are distilled in Ireland, which this is triple distilled, by the way. I don't think I plugged that in there. It's a triple distilled grain and malt Irish whiskey. But it's the first crossover I think I've had. And that rye is real. You get the real sweetness of that rye. That's a nice rye. But it does kind of like, it does overshadow the Irish. The palate. The palate's nice. Again, that rye sort of overpowers the Irish. Irish is like sitting in the back. Irish is up front being loud as hell. What? I think I said that wrong. The finish is nice. There's a lot of action going on all over the mouth. And I believe it's the rye. I wouldn't think it would be the Irish. That rye is being loud. And it's really hanging out. I think the Irish is it's smoothing out the rye. I think that's what's going on here. I think that Irish is smoothing out the rye. You still get a lot of that flair from the rye, but that Irish is kind of like, hey, keep it down. Not typical of an Irishman. But it's nice. That's a pretty moderately long finish. And I credit it all to the rye. So Mr. Randy's going to put a score on this of 4 out of 5. There's a lot going on there, and it's not all on the surface. We'll just put it like that. Definitely, yeah, I'm happy with the 4 out of 5. Yeah, I paid $25 out the door for this. My fair price, I would say, yeah, $25 to $30. I think that's pretty fair. That's a good price range for this juice in the bottle. Would I buy this again? I plan on it. If this was just a sort of a one-time massive distribution, production of this whiskey, particularly so that it was just for the show, which they promoted the hell out of this and the show at the same time. It was everywhere. Not that I ever saw it, but now that when I do my research on this bottle, I see a lot of it everywhere on the internet. If you want to look it up, go ahead. The show's decent enough, I guess, if you ain't got nothing else to watch. You might get a chuckle every now and then. It's just about a bunch of dummies who somehow manage to keep their bar above board. You know what I'm saying? Just barely keeping afloat. There's a lot of times that they don't. And, well, that's conflict. So that's what it sells. So, have you tried this? Have you even heard of this? I'm definitely going to try and maybe get a bottle to, put on the back of the back shelf so that I've got something unique to pull out once in a while. Like, hey, you like that show? Try this. But let us know in the comments. If you tried it, do you like it? Have you never heard of it? Just let us know. Okay, thanks for stopping by. I am Mr. Randy with Mr. Randy's Wine and Spirits. You have a good one.